All right, we're here with Kings Fork head football coach Anthony Joffrion after his team's preseason scrimmage with the Ocean Lakes Dolphins. Coach, mighty impressive look from your group. You know, I think wondering we were about the defense. You lost two major edge rushers in Kyree Moyston, Bravion Campbell from your state semifinal region championship team. Defense looks very fast and aggressive and gets to the football quickly.
Yeah, our defense, man, we really, in practice, they really take it serious because, you know, it's a new year, but they still, you know, think about last season and how they can, you know, get farther, you know. So we don't really run away from it. We really just, it's expectations every single day. So our kids have done a great job just responding to adversity, responding to everything the right way. You know, we don't really have a lot of talking back. We don't really have a lot of discipline issues. This is a really good group. They take coaching. They take our hard coaching. They get in the film room. They took this offseason very serious. This is my first full offseason as a head coach, and they've really gotten after it. And I'm very excited, and I just hope we continue to just keep getting better every single day.
Tell me a little bit about that. How has that approach been? You know, you had the COVID-shortened spring season where you weren't part of the VHSLs competing for a championship and get to the state playoffs. It was a tough one to a very good Varina team that won the championship and will be considered by many the favorite to get in Class 4. What that's like, because it looks like the numbers are great. You would think, not taking anything from Ocean Lakes, you were the Class 6 school, but the numbers you had and a lot of 8th, 9th grade guys out here participating.
Yes. Yeah, we've just done a really good job in the community just getting these kids out. I think this year this is the most support I've ever seen at Kings Fork regarding football. Like we have over 100 kids in the program, and they're just all bought in. You know, even the young guys, you know, they do little knucklehead stuff, you know, might show up a little late, but we do little reminders and stuff like that.
That's emphasis, right? Getting the discipline stuff cleaned up, because you could have been maybe, I don't know about undefeated, but won a game or two more without some of those penalties and things.
Yes, the Oscar Smith game last year, that's something we've really learned a lot from. You know, we had 18 penalties in the second quarter, which is something, you know, every single day that's something we talk about. Like, we got to clean these penalties up. We got to clean a lot of this stuff up. I think today, defensively, we didn't have any penalties. Offensively, we had a couple holding penalties, which is something, you know, we really got to address and practice on film to, you know, coach the proper technique.
I know this particular scrimmage didn't showcase his abilities, but you've got, in my opinion, if not the best sophomore running back in the state, certainly in the short list of guys in JaVon Ford, who I know also kicks. He's an excellent soccer player for you. Tell me about just his leadership you've seen, or just growth, to go with a guy who's a veteran at quarterback in Cameron Butler, because it really starts with him in the offensive side.
Yeah, so JaVon last year as a freshman, you know, he ran for over 800 yards, was all state. And I would say this year he's just more confident, full off season in the weight room. He squats over 500 pounds. And the most important thing, honestly, he's a great teammate. You know, he has about 10 scholarship offers from numerous Division I Power 5 schools, but he never acts like it. You know, every time a college coach or, you know, anything like that, he's the first one to try to help out one of his teammates. Denaj Rogers, he wore number 80 today, had a little 80-yard run. He's a super talented kid. I mean, he's 6'1", $180. He's what a lot of Division I's look for. And, you know, JaVon Ford just does a great job of being a perfect teammate and, you know, supporting all his brothers on the field.
Well, but you'll get that when people focus in on Ford. And then Butler's been, I thought, efficient for you at the quarterback spot. He might not put up the greatest of stats, but it's a matter of just taking care of the ball, don't make mistakes, get it to those guys that need to, and show the veteran leadership, if you will. Yeah,
I love Cameron Butler. You know, I've had the pleasure of coaching him since he was in 7th grade. You know, he's a very special talent, very special kid. He's the definition of Kings Fork high school football. He's seen the highs when he was the ball boy when we beat Oscar Smith here in 2017, and then he's seen some of the lows. And then last year, you know, getting to the state semi where he threw 4 touchdowns in one game. He's just the ultimate competitor. You know, last night he gave his senior speech, and you know, you couldn't hear a pin drop. He's the perfect example of what Kings Fork football is. And when he is gone after this year, I'm gonna be a very sad guy.
Lastly, is it the sign of, and you've got a scrimmage coming up with Maury, and then you'll go into game 1, and we know the Southeast District's got a lot of good teams with that, King and Oscar Smith and Indian River, and the list goes on, Western Branch and some others. But is that the sign of a good football team when you, as coaches, I know you got a couple former head coaches on your staff, like Marty Asprey, PPL, when you guys can step back, you've got players doing some of the coaching, and when you lose some of those players we just spoke about in Moyston and Campbell, but that could eventually, if not now, be the strength of your team as a defensively. You've got so many guys that can step up and do it.
Yeah, so we have Ronald Rhodes and Isaiah Singleton. You know, they're both seniors, and they both have very good size. They just, you know, last year they just had to get through that transition phase of, you know, I got to maximize the plays I do get. You know, they ended up starting a couple games, and they've had the best offseason. You know, their squat numbers, bench number, power clean numbers have just risen. They've stepped up as leaders, and I think tonight they had a really good showing of just using their hands, getting flat down the line. And I'm very excited for those 2 seniors. Then we have a 3rd senior, you know, Josh Drake. We have a lot of seniors who've kind of just waited their turn. Not to say they weren't good players or talented. They just, they had to wait their turn to
so the guys
finally.
before 'em too,
and the guys before them are really talented. So now they got their turn, and hopefully it's just a tradition. Like, next year we're going to have more guys step up. So, it's just, our mindset is just next man up, finish. And I'm just very excited for this season. I think we got a really talented team, but we just got to do a great job of coaching.
Expect plenty of bite for the reigning 4A champion Bulldogs on their quest for another championship regionally and statewide. Thank you so much. All the best.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Matt.